Okay, so before we start this episode review of Power Ranger Beast Morphers episode 15, I just want to come out and say I was wrong. I was very, very wrong about the release date. It said 4th to begin with, and when I checked all the TV guides in advance, it kept saying Beast Unleashed and then seeing Red would air the following week, but what happened with the episode, I don't know if it aired on TV. I haven't fully checked and gone back and looked at the TV guide. It could have been a mistake on the guide on my part or on their part, but on my part, I thought the episode got pushed back a week, but that's not the case. The episode went up straight to demand on their streaming service. So with that said, I'm sorry for getting the release date wrong, and let's get on with the review of Power Ranger Beast Morphers episode 15. So episode 15 of Power Ranger Beast Morphers, Seeing Red. Now this was a Devon focused episode, and this was a really, really good Devon focused episode. It focused on Devon sort of going back to his selfish roots where he's a bit full of himself and thinks he can do everything by himself. And this episode had consequences for his actions with him being so reckless. So the episode begins with Devon running through a jog, and you see a little bank on the side. I'm like, hey, that's interesting, Power Rangers have a bank. And then it sets up for the next gag that Power Rangers also have banks, but they also have burglars. But this is setting up for what the scene is going to be later on, because Devon chases after the robber. He uses his Fury Cell to go into Red Fury mode to chase after the burglar, and he catches the burglar, lifting him up by the car. And this was a very interesting response we got from the police officer. When he arrived on the scene, the police officer said to Devon, "You just deal with the Tronics and the Giga Drones, we'll deal with the criminals like this." So this was a really interesting response from a police officer saying, hey, you deal with all the robots, we'll deal with the people, which I wasn't really expecting a response like that. It wasn't really a thank you, it sort of was, but it was like, hey, you do your job, we'll do our job, which I was not really expecting for like a police officer in Power Rangers to say that. And I'm surprised Power Rangers has police officers still, because usually the Power Rangers do all the work these days. So this is where the episode gets interesting. There's another Tronic attack with Roxy doing her stuff, and it's been Roxy being involved a lot lately. I mean, I'll be surprised if she gets the power up and not Blaze, but I think Blaze is pushing for the power up. I don't know if Roxy will get it, but I love seeing Roxy involved, because when the Rangers arrive on the scene, you just see the suit actress just sitting back in a chair with her legs folded up, and she's just watching the action, which was kind of funny when you see giant Power Ranger suits like that doing stuff like that. It always gets a laugh out of me when you see those oversized suits just doing casual stuff like that. So the Rangers arrive to save the day, and they're like, where's Devin? Devin should be here any moment, and he arrives in lickety-split with the power of the Red Fury Cell, which is really, really cool. And Devin, he makes mincemeat of the monster of the day, which is the candle. He causes them to retreat, but what's interesting in this battle, his Red Fury Cell has a power limit. It can actually run out of power. It goes from red to black, and then after that he powers down. But conveniently, the bad guys had another one on them, and Devon steals it from them, which gives him another power boost, which I said he beats the crap out of the bad guys, causing them to retreat. And this is where the episode gets even more interesting, because it cuts back to the bad guys in the cyber dimension. And Scrozzle, I think it's Scrozzle that says it, Scrozzle says if you overuse the Red Fury Cells, it can turn the most noblest of person to bad. And that's what the bad guys want to do. They want to turn Devon evil by making him abuse the rest of the Red Fury Cells. So this was a really interesting concept from the get-go. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, how is this going to turn Devon evil? How is Devon going to get turned bad? So we then cut to the Riptide Gym where the Rangers are hanging out, and Devon, because of the effects of the Red Fury Cell, he's become a lot more aggressive, a lot more rude. He's not evil like muhahaha evil, he's very rude and aggressive, which is very out of character for Devon. And it's cool seeing the actor Rory Davis play Devon as this big old jerk in this episode. It was fun seeing him act as this reckless jerk, because when they're at the juice bar, he sees two people kendo sparring. He's like, hey, 2v1 me, and he takes them both on and kicks their butt. And it was a really interesting scene, and you can see the actor having this menacing look on their face, like they want more. And the way they described it, they said that Devon would be going primal, and I was thinking, oh, sort of like a cheetah, where a cheetah wants to hunt for blood and go primal like that. Now, they can't exactly say it because it's a kid's show, but that's the first thing I thought of when they mention it. So, Devin is getting a lot more jerkish, he's a lot more aggressive, and then they cut back to the lab where they sort of explain what I've been talking about. Nate says, I took a strand of your DNA, and it looks like you're going to turn evil if you keep using the Red Fury cell. Devin, please don't use the Red Fury cell. And Devin's like, I don't need any of you guys, I can take on the bad guys by myself. Bye! So Devin sort of walks out on the team and it's like, hey, I don't need any of you guys. Meanwhile, we then cut to the next bad guy fight where the candle monster, I should have mentioned, this week's bad guy is a candle monster, and when you see Roxy put the virus into a candle because Sentai, they need the Sentai footage, it's weird that there was like a candle lying around at the place she was at the start of the episode, which was kind of funny, I guess. So they fight the candle monster, and for a candle monster, he's a weird looking candle monster. He's got a little flame on the head, but know what he didn't use? He didn't use his little freaking lighter fluid thing where he has the little portable lighter arm. He never used it on the Rangers because most of this fight scene in the Power Rangers, except for the last few minutes of the fight with the candle monster, was mostly non-Sentai, and then when the Rangers finished them off with Zoe, Nate, and Steel, that was Sentai footage, because you can actually see, like, a TV station that says TV Arashi, which I think I'd been to in Japan when I was there a few years ago. I'll have to double check on that. So Roxy plans on baiting Devin out because they want him to abuse the Red Fury cells and turn evil, and this next scene was probably the best character moment between Ravi and Devin because they get into a little scuffle, they get into a little bit of a fight. It's very one-sided where Devin was kicking the crap out of Ravi. Ravi sort of held his own because of his gorilla strength, but Devin looked like he wasn't going to kill Ravi, but send him to the Shadow Realm because it's a kid show. I know Shadow Realm isn't a thing in Power Rangers, but you know what I mean when they want to dance around death in a kid's show. It looked like Devin was going to finish off Ravi because he was pointing his claws and he was like, grrr, give it to me, Ravi, give it to me, give me the Red Fury cell. Why did I say give it to me like that? He's like, Ravi, give me the Red Fury cell or you'll regret it. And Ravi's like, no, I won't give you the Red Fury cell. So Devin comes back to his senses and apologizes to Ravi. He's like, Ravi, my friend, I hurt my friend. And he destroys the Red Fury cells. And I love this moment where he crushes the Red Fury cells and then he just throws them at Roxy. And the impact they had when they hit Roxy, it made her glitch out and turn red. I was like, oh, is this going to be some sort of power-up she's going to get that we don't know about? But it seemed to damage her. I don't know why it did damage her. It's left unexplained, but it looked really cool when he threw the Red Fury cells at her and she got damaged from the attack. That was really cool. So, Devin apologizes to Ravi and says, I'm sorry, my friend, I didn't mean to hurt you. And because Ravi's Zord is not in the Sentai battle, Devin takes him back to HQ to recover. And this is a really good line we have from Commander Shaw, where she's like, my son's tough, but thanks for giving... No, he says, thanks for bringing him back, my son's tough, he can handle it. So, Ravi is a fighter, and it's good to see Commander Shaw have faith in her son that even if Ravi can take a beating, she knows that he's going to recover. So the monster of the day is destroyed, everything is okay, and then we come back to the cyber dimension where they have all three of the main beast DNAs, Cheetah, Jackrabbit, and Gorilla. And this is where Roxy's like, yeah, I'm gonna get powered up, and Blaze is like, no way, fool, that power's for me. They don't really say it like that, but they're bickering. They're not bickering that much. They're just having a power struggle. Who gets this brand new upgrade? And I get the feeling it's going to be Blaze because of Sentai, but if Roxy gets it, that'd be very interesting. But I wonder if these two are going to turn on each other because they have so much, what's the word I'm looking for? Not anxiety, animosity towards each other. They have so much hatred and rivalry towards each other. Like, they were sort of working together at the start of the episodes, and now they've sort of they're very competitive towards each other. Like, they're always doing their own thing. I don't know if that's because Sentai or whoever writes the episodes, but I get the feeling one of them is going to betray the other one. I get the feeling maybe Blaze will turn on Roxy because he says, I don't need weaklings, I'm powerful on my own, or who knows. But anyway, we don't find out who's going to get the DNA, the power-up, because it ends with Scrozzle laughing, so bless Cameron with his awesome Scrozzle laugh at the end that left that big cliffhanger, because I was really hoping we'd find out who got the power-up, but we just sort of ended with Scrozzle laughing. And then after that, we cut back to Riptide Gym, where Devin apologized to everyone. It's like, I'm sorry guys, I was a jerk, and there's all is forgiven, you're our friend. And then the episode ends there. Well, they do have a icing fight with like Betty and Ben and Ben and Betty's dad, Commander Burke or General Burke. Yeah, General Burke. So that's where the episode ends, and yeah, pretty much it was a really interesting episode. So Seeing Red was a really, really good episode. It was a really great Devon focused episode, and I'm wondering, because the next episode is called Gorilla Act and it's a Ravi focused episode, I'm wondering if any of the events in this episode is going to come to play in the next episode. I usually say that, like, with most Beast Morpher reviews, but I don't know if Ravi's going to have any, like, consequences or maybe some sort of problems after what happened with this episode moving forward to the next episode. That'd be really cool if it did happen, but hopefully next week isn't another, like, filler episode where stuff happens but nothing too important happens, but we'll find out next week, and I'm really excited to find out what happens on next week's episode of Power Ranger Beast Morphers. So anyway, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys around. Peace out. Thanks for watching.